All right. I will go ahead and call this meeting of the membership of North Carolina NENA here in High Point on September the 16th to order. And we'll start with our introduction of our board and our roll call here. I'm Chapter President Jason Compton. We have Ryan Chambers, and since we're not sitting in order, you guys just wave so folks can see you. First Vice President Ryan Chambers. Second Vice President Rick Thomas. Immediate Past President Alan Kress. Chapter Treasurer Jameson Sears. Is she over here? Okay, she's hiding from me. Secretary Candy Miller. Our Western Region Representative Brian Drum. Our Central Region Representative Corey Bodie is not with us today. Eastern Region Representative Bill French. Our Private Sector Commercial Representative Jennifer Taylor. Is she hiding down here? All right. I guess I could look up and see who's sitting in front of me, eh? Our North Carolina 911 Board Representative, Ms. Donna Wright. Our Board Member at Large, Victor Williams. Our Western Region Wellness Director, Monica Howard. Our Central Region Wellness Director, Ashley Warner. Our Eastern Region Wellness Director, Kaylee Green. And last but certainly not least, our Technical Advisor, Mr. Stephen Smith. All right. We will start with some further recognitions. Pardon me. If you are in any of these groups, please give a stand and let us recognize you. Our NENA Hall of Fame members. That's you, Alan.
Does that mean that?
Our NENA past presidents. You could have stayed standing. Any emergency number professionals, EMPs? Our CMCP Graduate Center Manager Certification Program. Any first-time attendees? I think we have at least a couple, or at least we did early. All right. You guys keep your hand raised and we will get a little something to you. And our National NENA board members. Today we have with us our second VP of National NENA, Melanie Jones, here in the audience. And we are streaming live, so I will recognize Cassie Lowry, our Southeast Region Director, who I think is with us online this morning. And with that, we'll move right along to the approval of our minutes and our treasurer's report. The minutes have been posted online on our website, which is continuing to be improved, so please continue to visit there regularly for updates, but you should be able to see minutes from all of our previous meetings there as well now. And our treasurer report from Jameson.
In our checking account, we have $5,324.42. In the savings account, we have $33,650.18 for a total of $38,974.60.
Thank you, Jameson. All right. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes and the treasurer's report as part of our consent agenda? And a second? Second. There we go. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you much. All right, moving right along, I will give the president's report. I'll try to keep this short, but I do have one big thing to share with you, or two things actually. You'll hear more about this from Melanie during her report from National, but there is an upcoming membership drive, both nationally and here in North Carolina. There is going to be quite a nice little gift basket going out to the person in North Carolina who can recruit the most new members. I wish we could count renewals, but new members, you'll get a basket that's being sent down from National NENA that we'll contribute to as well. There are a number of announcements that I won't steal any or give any teasers on, other than to say we have our wellness retreat is definitely going to happen, and we have some exciting things to share about that later on. For the biggest thing that I wanted to share with you all, as you all know, we have been working since 2019, which sounds like a really long time ago at this point, to work on the tax exempt status for the organization. So earlier this month, we received a letter from Stephen Martin, who is the director of the Internal Revenue Service's Tax Exempt and Government Entities section, confirming that the IRS has received and reviewed the documentation that we have submitted through our CPA. And I am very pleased to announce that North Carolina NENA has been fully reinstated as a registered tax-exempt organization with a designation of 501c6. This is the same designation that we held previously, and there were no penalties or taxes or negative remarks of any at all from them. We have just been flatly reinstated. The 501c6 is a designation for business leagues, chambers of commerce, real estate boards, boards of trade, and professional associations. And while this status is tax-exempt nonprofit, I just want to remind everybody that it is not the same as the 501c3 charitable organization status, which would allow you to make any donations that you made to North Carolina NENA tax deductible. The chapter is going to continue to work with our CPA on an ongoing basis to assist with our annual filings, provide any ongoing professional advice, and to conduct the annual financial audit that is required by our bylaws through the audit committee. As many of you will remember, this has been a several-year-long process beginning in 2019, as I mentioned, and we have been waiting, I believe, nearly a year at this point for this response from the IRS after submitting the last of our required documentation. So with that, I just want to say a special thanks to all of our board members, and especially to Jameson, our treasurer, and Alan Kress, our past president, and of course to our CPA, Scott Snyder, out of Salisbury, for their assistance and diligence in getting this resolved. So thank you, guys. All right, and with that, that will conclude the end of my report, and I'll call upon Ms. Donna Wright to please come to the podium to give the North Carolina 911 Board report and a legislative update.
That certainly is a long walk for a few comments. Thanks to Melanie, who gave a great report earlier. The only thing I want to add is most of you PSAP managers did receive a survey from Richmond Community College about the associate's degree. Please take a few minutes and fill that out. Ray Gilliland and I were talking earlier, and he had the perfect comment that really, I told him, make sure you add that, and that is, old folks like myself who didn't have that educational opportunity and had to learn it through the school of hard knocks and trial and error and talking to your friends, this is the first time we're actually going to have a program that's going to lay that foundation that we had to struggle to try to build and learn from. So putting things like that as why this program will bring value is really important for them to, at the college level and at that trustees level, to see this is why we're trying to get this in place. Just a little update, a little bit about that program. Angie Turberville and I have been working with the college doing a lot of the prep to get this program off the ground. And as most of you heard, August of 2023, this program will start accepting students. So it's not that far off. But one of the things we're working on with the college is, okay, if we've got an associate's degree, what about a one-year diploma? What does that look like? What does a 5 or 6 class certificate look like, you know, in public administration or even in public safety communication? So we're trying to look at formalized, recognized certificate, diplomas, and degrees in our industry for the first time. The college did extensive research, and we found nothing that tied exactly to it. We found some similar, but not the same. The only other thing I want to add to this, PSAP managers, make sure you're keeping up with all the committees that are going on. You heard Melanie talk about the funding committee that's meeting on the 22nd. Make sure you're part of that, because what most of you have learned is if you're there, you have that opportunity to speak and have some comments to the shaping of the conversation going on. Your voice matters. Your voice is important, and we need to make sure you're there. The education committee that afternoon is going to also have a committee meeting. There again, be there. These decisions and conversation impact your every single day. And the more you're there, the more you're letting the voices be heard to make some of the changes that we can help make. But I'll be happy to ask or answer any questions about the 911 board. All right, hearing none. Legislatively, right now, we're getting ready to soon have a long session this upcoming year, so I'm sure there'll be some legislative changes. And all of us need to be prepared to have conversations and things like that as things pop off, as they say. in the legislative side of things. So, but nothing really going on at this point. I know we hear a lot about the reclassification, and Melanie as well at the national level. North Carolina has a little bit of an issue. We're not reclassifying. We actually have no classifications. So we're having to try to legislatively look to see how we can get this accomplished through what Ryan and some others have done already in Raleigh, laying a foundation for one of the pieces of legislation that could help us fix this. So hopefully that'll come up again next year in this. But I'll be glad to answer any other questions. Yes, sir.
Has there been talk with the two associations for maybe considering a lobbyist or the efforts of a lobbyist for the need?
Sure, I can speak to that. Christine and I have had some discussions about it. We still need to talk a little more, but I think that's something that we definitely need to discuss between the two associations over the next couple of months.
And speaking from experience from our past lobbyist who was awesome, great, as long as it was an issue that did not cross over with the telco side. So we're going to have to find somebody probably to consider that's not with that kind of relationship, that it's an all or nothing kind of thing in this case.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's all I have. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Donna. All right, next we'll move to our report from National NENA. We have Miss Melanie Jones here with us in person. She'll come to the podium. Cassie Lowry, our Southeast Region representative, I'm not sure whether or not she is with us virtually. We had some last-minute technical changes to that setup, so if she is able to join us via Zoom, she's welcome to speak, but if not, Melanie, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. So in reference to the membership drive that's starting for NENA October the 1st, so North Carolina NENA, of course, with me being on the executive board now, I can tell you that I'm really going to be pushing PSAPs in this state to join NENA. The benefits are really, really good for education reasons, both for TCs, supervisors, managers. They have all levels of educational opportunities. The biggest that I just found out last week, the webinar Wednesdays that they do, if somebody new joins, you can go back and see all of the archived webinars that they have done in the past. That's a huge benefit. I always join them if I'm available, and then if I'm not, I go back and look at them. But those are great benefits. And I did get NENA staff to agree last week. They're going to send a sizable gift basket to the North Carolina chapter for the person that has the most referrals for new members. And so when people go in to join, there is a referral block, both in the individual and in the group application. So please, if somebody is referring you, make sure you put in who the referral is so that that person will get that gift basket that they send us. So NENA 2023 is in Grapevine, Texas, and it is June the 17th through June 20th. Call for papers opened recently, so if you're interested in presenting at the National NENA Conference, please get those call for papers in. We would love to have you present there. The Standards and Best Practices Conference is in Clearwater, Florida, January the 16th through the 19th of 2023. So if you haven't gotten your entry in for that, please do so. And the 911 Goes to Washington event, which is, of course, one of my favorite NENA events, is February the 27th to March the 1st, 2023. So that'll be opening soon. Does anybody have any questions for me? Is Cassie online? Okay, that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we'll move to our Commercial Advisory Council update from Ms. Jennifer Taylor.
Thank you. As Gary mentioned in the last meeting, we didn't have any update from our commercial partners this time, so I just wanted to take a minute and say to all our commercial partners, if you have an update or something that you would like us to announce, Gary and I will do that on your behalf at each of these meetings, and we encourage you to reach out to either of us so we can do that. Also, one other thing that we are working on is implementing the vendor breakfast again, and we hope to start that before the next chapter meeting, so be on the lookout for an email from Gary and I to get that going and get the invite so that we can all reconnect and get things back to normal. That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, next up is our EMP report from Rick Thomas.
Thank you. So just real quick, I'll have to say the EMP certification was probably one of the most intense but yet rewarding certifications that I've ever obtained. And I truly feel that my EMP is where helped me get where I'm at professionally. Our friend Tracy at On Sea First is going to start in January, the next class. That'll get you ready for the 2023 spring testing period. Previous sessions can also be viewed on YouTube. You can also see her website for scholarship opportunities. Also, Carolina Recording Systems offers scholarships. If you would just check with Byron or Gary after the meeting to get further information on those. And also Mission Critical Partners is going to be starting their next session in January as well for the EMP study group. If anyone has any questions about EMP, there's several of us in here. Feel free to pull us aside after the meeting. That's it. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Thank you, Rick. And I scrolled one too far on my agenda here, so we'll hop back one item to the membership committee report from Ryan Chambers.
Perfect. Yeah, and just to echo a little bit about what Melanie said, and Melanie and I were immediately started talking about this following the National MENA Conference because I've been at the national conference for the last 7 years, and I feel like it's always either California or Texas. So anything that we can do to help grow the North Carolina membership, there's a couple different reasons we need to grow it. First, professionally for you as an individual, it is well worth your personal investment in yourself. NENA has recently added a telecommunicator level membership. It costs $55 for the entire year. If you're a frontline telecommunicator, or if you have, or if you're willing to pass this information off to your staff, maybe your agency doesn't pay for the memberships, share this information with them. That's $1 and a nickel a week for them to have access to like the webinars that Melanie spoke of. You get constant discounts for online and in-person trainings. And if they are able to attend state conference and national conference, there's also discounts there. They will make that $55 back in just the discounts throughout the year. If you are a supervisor or above, your membership is a little bit more, but that gives you voting rights at the state and national level. Excuse me, telecommunicators can also vote at the state level, just not the national level. And then if you are a vendor, you can be a member as well. As a vendor myself, I will tell you that is one of the best things you can do to network with telecommunicators all the way up to directors is through the membership. I have people that will not speak with me if I call them unless I tell them I am a NENA member or an APCA member or some type of charter member with one of the associations. So very important for that. Group memberships, if you're a director or decision maker for your agency, this is one of the single best investments you can make for your agency as a whole, because not only do you get training for your entire staff, they also have access to forum groups that they can get on there and discuss. If you have a training coordinator that's researching different topics, they have access to thousands of people across the country there. And the second piece, you've heard us mention us trying to get the national conference in North Carolina. We really need to get a couple hundred more memberships to really get serious consideration on that. Jason and I sat in front of the national board while we were in Louisville this past year, and we've got their attention, not only from what other things that we're getting ready to announce, but we would love to have the national conference back here. So the faster the membership is growing, the more attention and more desire that it's going to be to bring that conference back here to North Carolina. So I think we're roughly 860-ish members in North Carolina. I would love by the end of the year for us to be at 1,000 members. Working with Melanie and working with directors and supervisors across the state, that's very achievable if you guys will just look at the value, and I think you will see that value return pretty quickly.
$55 is a week at Starbucks. Give up Starbucks for a week.
For you.
So what I was thinking.
All right, I'm going to use that. The next vendor that calls me on a cold call, I'm going to say, are you a NENA?
Yes, I've had many that do it.
Thank you, Ryan. I'll give a quick conference committee report to just share some of the same information that Missy shared a little earlier in the APCO meeting. We are having our 2023 conference again in Wilmington, same place, same week, just a day earlier on your calendar, so April 30th through May the 3rd. We will be getting information about that coming out in the next couple of months. We are going to try to open both the vendor and the attendee registration earlier this go around to try to give folks, especially on the commercial side, an opportunity to pay out of both calendar years, if that's the budget cycle that they follow. But we're going to try to get that open December 1st for vendors. But please be on the lookout for information coming out of there. For those of you that may not have attended last year or that may have forgotten, please register early. Lodging will be more plentiful this year, so that since, we're sort of coming back to even a more normal sense of our conference, but the earlier you register both for the conference and for your lodging, the better off that you're going to be. A lot of folks waited to within the last 30 days or so to register, understandably, this past year, and we're just not able to hold lodging forever. So please register early, switch your folks out if you need to, but if you know you have funding to send 4 people, when those windows open, go ahead and get them registered, and we can deal with switches and cancellations as those needs arise later on. And it'd be a lot easier and better financially for you guys. Yes, sir.
Just so you guys know the importance of especially the lodging. Yesterday during our conference committee meeting, we looked at the hotel prices around Wilmington. I believe the conference rate is almost half of what the standard rate is for this hotel. If you try to book it outside of the conference discount, it's $300 a night. And I think somebody can correct me, where we at $159, Grayson? So you're looking at half price there. And there's not many options in the area that are much cheaper. So getting booked during that conference window is going to save you a ton of money.
Yep. And we're going to work with some additional hotels to have overflow outside of the Embassy Suites as well. But again, they go pretty quickly. First week of May is getting into travel season for New Hanover County. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Bill to give us a little announcement here in just a moment as well. But Candy, do you have anything you'd like to share on any upcoming education or training before we recognize Bill?
Yes, we have September 26th. There's an EMD class in Iredell County. September 28th through the 30th, EFD class will be held. September 29th, Recruit, Hire, Retain class will be held at Cape Fear Community College. That's in Castle Hayne, North Carolina. The board's been working very hard to get more NENA training to the state locally, so you do not have to travel out of state to attend these classes. And there is a Sheriff Standards class November 3rd through the 11th at Mitchell Community College. And we can turn it over to Bill.
Thank you, Candy. And we heard a exciting announcement from Mr. Bill on the CMCP course coming to North Carolina at last meeting, and I think he has some additional things to share.
Thank you, Mr. President. Back in November, when I took CMCP down in South Carolina, when I came back, I found that a lot of people had never even heard of CMCP. And I made it my mission to get recognition for that course somehow. And I was able to go to the national conference. And at the keynote address, the first keynote address, asked all ENPs to stand. Didn't ask any CMCPs to stand. I said, well, I know I'm going to say something now, for sure. Well, they had a forum. The national board was there, and I expressed, in a nice way, my concern about lack of even having the course in North Carolina. They're always in the Midwest, anywhere but North Carolina. And CMCP is a 40-hour course, a 5-day course that you'll get the most information and good things to take back to your PSAPs that you've ever seen. It's lecture and lab-based. It's a fantastic program. And soon after I got back, sometimes when you open your mouth, good things happen. They reached out to the 911 board, and bottom line is there will be a CMCP course in North Carolina, in Lumberton, my town, at Robinson Community College. Only problem is, if you didn't already sign up for it, you're going to be on a wait list. It filled in 23 hours. 30-some seats filled that fast. So, you know, I'm really, really excited to help bring this course to North Carolina.
And for that, Bill, I'm going to give you a round of applause.
Thank you.
All right, so now to, I think, a pretty exciting report from our newly founded Wellness Committee. As you all know, we have been working excitedly towards hosting our first wellness retreat for telecommunicators here in North Carolina. I'm going to let Ryan and Kaylee and the rest of the group speak on that as they would like in just a minute, but as part of the announcement on our upcoming wellness retreat, if you haven't seen it online, we do have a quick video to introduce that, and I believe that will get played now.
All right, I'll kick this off and then I'm going to pass it over to our wellness group here. But I can personally say this is probably one of the most exciting projects that I've had a chance to work on, and I've got to do some pretty cool stuff in my career. Leading off, the entire National NENA Association's eyes are on us with this event. The reason being is over the past 3 or 4 years, even prior to COVID, mental health has been a hot topic. And we talk about it to death at conferences and meetings and everything else, but putting action past those meetings has been a challenge. As COVID come in, it made the mental health impact even more important to telecommunicators. It burned out a lot of people, and this is a perfect time for us to launch the first ever wellness retreat. There's going to be 20 people that are going to be able to, there's 20 available slots for this retreat. We are going to keep it small for the first one because we want it to be an intimate setting. It's going to be hosted down in Corolla, North Carolina. And I'll let Kaylee speak more about the location, but she has found an excellent venue there. It is a 25-bedroom house that we have already rented and secured, that's going to have all their meals provided. It's a pretty much all-inclusive trip for them. We've got professional speakers. It is going to be a place for them to come relax, replenish, take the tools back to their agency to help others, and just hopefully just a good kickoff. We're going to try to start doing 1 or 2 of these every single year. And this is only possible through the sponsorships that we have already been able to obtain. We have been at this now for a little over a month, and I'm proud to say that we have about 80% of our cost already covered, which is excellent. I'm going to let Kaylee speak a little bit more about the dates and kind of a little bit of the agenda and the plans for it, Ashley and Monica. And I'll tell you guys, if Apple charged me for cloud space and text messages with these three and Jason, they have been working incredibly hard on this. I've never had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but there's now to get things done for my full-time job. I have to shut them up for a little while, but they've been working incredibly hard on this. They're going to be, this is going to be an excellent event. We were talking about speaking at National NINA. National NINA has already asked us to speak next year on this event. So it is going to be exciting, and I will let Kaylee announce the dates and pricing and agenda. And then I'll talk about fundraising.
All right, so we did secure our venue. It's called the Black Stallion in Corolla, North Carolina. Each of the 20 bedrooms that we will be assigning to the attendees are private bedrooms with private baths. Most of them have a balcony. So it's really going to be a time where telecommunicators can go and they can relax and they can reset. But they're also learning a skill set for themselves and for their entire 911 center. Our goal is to be able to give them the valuable information that they need to help our centers stay staffed, because burnout is horrible right now, as we all know. Obviously, we've had an incident in Hanover County. We're losing telecommunicators as well. So it's important that we get this education out there. And you can hear it at conference for your small, 45 minutes? 45-minute class, and then go to your next class where you're getting bombarded with more information. But this is going to be more of a slower paced, but a lot of information. The classes are going to be 90 minutes, but they're going to be that 20-person intimate classroom setting. It's actually right there inside that same house. There's an event room that'll be set up with the tables. These 20 people are going to make friendships, hopefully. They're going to find people that they can go to when they're having a bad day that also has learned that skill set that they can help get through it with. So each day there's going to be 4 classes. There'll be 90 minutes, but there's also going to be breaks in between them. There's going to be long meal breaks, but the meals are also going to be right there in their large kitchen dining area where everybody's going to be able to, again, meet, talk, and mingle. And then in the evenings, we're going to do fun things like a s'mores night and a trivia night to help these people reset that are under a lot of stress. So we're very, very, very excited for what we can do.
Awesome. And just a little bit more about the application process. This is not a treatment facility or a treatment conference, so they will have to request to come on by themselves. So if you have someone in your agency that you think that would be willing to come and attend this conference, encourage them to apply. We're going to be posting more information on our social media and website about the application process. There are only going to be 20 slots for this first one. So if you know of someone, whether it's in your agency or a neighbor agency or just a friend through your network, encourage them to come down to this event. It is going to be great. I mentioned that we've got most of our funding secured, but this is not, we're not going to stop once we've got this event paid for. We want to continue this past this event because we don't want this to turn into, when they leave on January 26th, it stops until we have another event. We want to offer continuous support through this wellness committee for North Carolina NINA. So we're going to be constantly raising funds. You're probably going to get annoyed of seeing my Facebook post and getting calls from me asking you to buy raffle tickets, t-shirts, and everything else. But know that every dollar that you send through this is going directly back to our membership. For cases like that happened in New Hanover County, for us to be able to send something to them, whether it's a care package, a dinner, Iredell County had a major event, being able to provide little small gifts or gestures to these telecommunicators, providing them books, anything else that's going to help them through any kind of mental health or nutritional guidelines. So it's going to be constant process here. The current fundraisers that we have going on, I announced these last time, $20 for one of our t-shirts. Ashley, you want to stand up and be my model? Perfect. Simple t-shirt, $20. I have a wide range of sizes over here. If you would like one, we have them here today. If you want one shipped back to your agency, if you would like to buy any for your staff, we did pre-order a large number. So if you're building your National Telecommunicator Week gift baskets for next year, go ahead and grab some from us. The other one, big thanks to Academy Sports in Burlington. They have given me a $1,000 gift card to be used on Yeti products. So we have put together a raffle. Our raffle tickets are $10 a piece. The first prize is a Yeti hauler, which is one of the large coolers. That is a $400 cooler. Second prize is a Yeti hopper, Flip 18, which is more of the soft shell, large shoulder strap Yeti cooler. Third prize is 2 Yeti 30-ounce tumblers, 2 Yeti 20-ounce tumblers, and 2 Yeti coasters. So even the third place prize is about $100, $150. So all of that has been donated. So 100% of the profits from these raffle tickets go directly into our wellness fund and will be put back into our telecommunicators. The next fundraiser that I'm going to announce, and it's a little bit of a teaser because I'm still working through some of the details, but we have partnered with NatPacs, what many of you know is Natalie, my girlfriend currently, and
Notice you say currently.
I say currently for a reason. For a positive reason. No, she's good. As you guys, most of you probably know, she does wellness and nutrition consulting and does meal prep meals. We are partnering with her to provide pre-cooked Thanksgiving meals that are pre-order. These meals are going to be serving 6 to 8 people. We were going to announce a price today until I found out that every turkey in North Carolina has the flu. So we might not be getting turkeys for Thanksgiving. But I think last night I did secure a tractor trailer load full of turkeys, but I'm still waiting for them to be deheaded and confirmed first. But these meals are going to be delivered across the state on the... Literally butchering it. But these meals are going to be professionally prepared. It's going to have roughly 8 to 10 pounds of ham or turkey, 3 sides, a salad, and a dessert. They will be delivered the day before Thanksgiving, and we are going to set up probably 5 to 6 delivery locations across the state. We've secured some refrigerated trailers and everything else. So if you are interested in that, please keep checking the Facebook page and also our website. What we are hoping to do is have people either sponsor meals for your dispatchers, police, fire, and EMS agencies, but also open to the general public. It's getting very difficult to find some of these items that a lot of people cook, and with the inflation price go up through Natalie's contacts with her running her business, we've been able to cut the typical price of these items down to almost a third. So there is a pretty good profit margin for this, and that's why it's a good fundraiser for us. We're going to probably cap this at 200 meals just because, like I said, the turkeys are getting sick, and I don't want to take all the pigs out the field just yet. But if you're interested, check with me, follow up with more information, keep checking the website, but we're going to hopefully try to open up the pre-order starting here in the next couple weeks, and we'll cut that off November the 10th, which will give us 2 weeks to get all that prepared and logistics sent out. But our hope for delivery is to get it within an hour of anybody in the state. So it's going to be 5 or 6 cities. We're all going to split up and all day on the 23rd be delivering out there. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Commercial vendors that are listening, if you would like to sponsor one of our events or just make a general donation, get with one of our wellness committee members. We are always accepting donations. There are still a few room sponsorships available. We also have lunch, dinner, and breakfast sponsorships available for the retreat as well. But the ones who have already, and I'm not going to go through the list because I'll forget somebody, the ones who have already donated, we are very thankful for that. And if anyone is interested in donations, reach out to us. And I think that's it. No more killing turkeys or anything else.
Thank you, guys.
Hopefully your girlfriend says your girlfriend through November.
I'm not going to say anything because she might be watching, but she will be.
All right, before Ryan gets himself in more trouble here, we're standing our historical committee back up for the first time in a long time now, and Victor Williams is going to be heading that up, and so I'll just turn to him for a brief word.
Yeah, it's brand new. We're just getting started. You know, our friend there with APCO. He does a fantastic job on that side, and we'd like to do the same thing for North Carolina NENA. When I think about his history in North Carolina NENA, the only thing that really comes to mind is some of the past presidents I know and where the first NENA meeting was held, which was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. But we want to gather information. So if anybody's got any historical data that goes back with the history of NENA, we'd appreciate it if you'd pass that along. You can get up with me, Jason, any of us, and let us know. We'll get that information. We're going to start compiling some historical stuff so we can have something to show the future, where we came from.
Thank you.
I applaud y'all for that. Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Jerome, for the TERT steering, if you have anything to share.
So just like Vic said, we're really trying to start to get the TERT steering committee back up and going. We met with North Carolina EM about 2 months ago. So there'll be more things to come in the future, but that's all I've got.
And I think I've seen a few emails come out from Greg Hauser, the SWIC, or the PSAP Managers Listserv, about some upcoming training. Please be on the lookout for both TERT and for the, just lost my train of thought, but the,
Radio and all that.
yeah, y'all help me out. I know, I can't remember the new one, but also for the side that you would deploy out to the field for that. So be on the lookout there. If you don't have a terms account with EM, you need to get one. And that way you can sign up for these classes and stay in touch with them. So thank you, Brian. All right, that's going to move us on into new business. And we do have someone joining us remotely from the FCC, Rachel Ware, to give an update on that. But before we move there, last meeting, we swore some folks in, and we had a few folks that were not able to be with us. So we're going to take care of that here in just a second. So if I could have Jennifer, if you want to come down. Also, Donna Wright, if you want to come up. I hadn't seen you to get you sworn in a little bit for this term. And also our Western Region Wellness Director, Monica.
You swore at her yesterday, though.
Well, you know. We love each other like that, you know? All right. So I'm going to read the oath. If you will all please raise your right hand, and just at the end, your words will be "I do." This is our private sector commercial partner director, Jennifer Taylor. Again, Monica Howard, our Western Region Wellness Director, and on the other end, North Carolina 911 Board Representative, Donna Wright. All right, you have been duly appointed to the office in which you are about to enter by presidential appointment and with the consent and support of our executive board. This appointment bestows upon you confidence and trust and places in your hands the duties of your office as appointed and written in the bylaws of this chapter. Do you solemnly affirm that you will accept this responsibility, this confidence, and this establishment of duty, and that you will support the bylaws of the North Carolina chapter of the National Emergency Number Association and will faithfully perform the duties of your position to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? All right. Thank you, ladies.
Working on it.
All right, and then last but not least, we have a special guest joining us for a few minutes today, Ms. Rachel Ware from the FCC, who's going to share an update on 988 information.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rachel Ware, and I'm an attorney advisor with the Policy and Licensing Division of the Public Safety and Homeland Security Bureau at the Federal Communications Commission. The division's role is to develop and administer rules, regulations, and other policies to support public safety entities, including public safety answering points, and to protect the welfare of life and property. Today, we are going to be discussing a couple of different FCC topics that may be of interest to you in North Carolina, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share this update with you virtually today. First, I want to highlight the Commission's latest public notice to refresh the record on 911 location-based routing, which is a method that some wireless carriers have implemented to route 911 calls to the correct PSAP based on information collected from the caller's device. Second, several of the FCC's 911 initiatives relate to improving the information available to PSAPs, including the Commission's wireless E911 horizontal and vertical accuracy requirements, NORS and DERS information sharing, and 911 outage notifications. Lastly, I do want to tell you about the Commission's work to help stand up some of the new 3-digit number for the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, 988. To talk very quickly about location-based routing, as you well know, 80% of 911 calls in the United States originate from wireless phones. And in the past, the 911 system has routed 911 wireless calls to the closest PSAP based on the location of the cell tower that handles the call. Sometimes, however, the 911 call is sent to the wrong PSAP because the cell site where the call was received is not in the same jurisdiction as the 911 caller. Each time a wireless 911 call routes incorrectly, call takers have to transfer the call to the proper PSAP. There have been several publicly announced advancements in location-based routing technology in the past couple of years, and some implementation of location-based routing on wireless networks. AT&T completed its rollout of location-based routing on its network in June of this year. T-Mobile is implementing location-based routing with select PSAPs, and Verizon recently announced it would start work on location-based routing in 2023. In June of this year, the Commission adopted a public notice inviting parties to refresh the record on this topic, and the comment and reply cycle closed on July 25th, 2022. Now to talk a little bit about horizontal accuracy requirements. So the Commission's location accuracy rules enable PSAPs and first responders to more accurately identify the locations of callers. The Commission has adopted requirements to improve location accuracy, horizontal and vertical, for wireless 911 calls. As of April 3rd, 2021, nationwide carriers, that is AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, were required to provide horizontal location within 50 meters or dispatchable location for 80% of all wireless 911 calls. Non-nationwide carriers have additional time to meet these requirements. And now for vertical location requirements. Especially in denser urban areas with multi-story buildings, PSAPs and first responders may need to know the vertical location, or the Z-axis or height location, of a 911 caller, in addition to the horizontal XY location or address. Under the current vertical accuracy requirements, nationwide carriers must deploy either dispatchable location or Z-axis technology, providing location accuracy of plus or minus 3 meters relative to the handset for 80% of indoor calls. Nationwide carriers must meet this vertical location accuracy requirement in increasingly greater portions of their service areas. Non-nationwide carriers have an additional year to meet each of these vertical location accuracy benchmarks. The first accuracy benchmark was in April of 2021. In addition, as of January 6th, 2022, the Commission required all CMRS providers to provide dispatchable location with wireless E911 calls if it is technically feasible for them to do so. Unfortunately, ahead of the April 2021 deadline, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T indicated that they could not meet the Z-axis requirements in time, in part because of the challenges with testing during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Commission's Enforcement Bureau then began an inquiry into the provider's compliance with the FCC's deadlines, as well as the current capabilities of Z-axis solutions. In June 2021, the Bureau entered into consent decrees with all 3 of these providers to resolve these investigations. As part of these consent decrees, each carrier now has to provide PSAPs with Z-axis location information available to the carrier on a nationwide basis and not just in the top 25 CMAs. The consent decrees also required each carrier to implement compliance plans and each to pay a $100,000 settlement amount. And the consent decree also required the 3 carriers by April 3rd, 2022 to meet the 3-meter vertical accuracy standard that would have been applicable to them in 2021. The carriers filed certifications in June of this year that they have met the vertical location accuracy requirements. I also want to highlight a couple of developments from the past year that will help public safety respond quickly and effectively to outages. First, in 2021, the Commission adopted a report and order expanding access to outage report information in the FCC's Network Outage Reporting System, NORS, and Disaster Information Reporting System, DERS. The Commission recognizes the value of reliable and timely outage information to restoring communications and the crucial role that state and other government entities play. Historically, NORS and DERS data has only been available to the FCC and the Department of Homeland Security, and we have not shared it with state and local authorities. The new rules just adopted by the Commission will change that. They will enable emergency response agencies at the state level, as well as the District of Columbia, tribal nations, territories, and federal agencies to access NORS and DERS data in real time. In general, states and other agencies will receive NORS and DERS data relating to the events that occur within the state or agency's jurisdiction. States can share data with downstream recipients, e.g., local emergency authorities, on a need-to-know basis, as long as those local authorities comply with confidentiality safeguards. The new rules take effect on September 30th, 2022. Available on the FCC's website is a recording of a recent workshop on NORS and DERS filings and other program requirements. Last year, the Commission adopted a notice of proposed rulemaking to improve the framework for reporting 911 outages to PSAPs. The notice proposes to harmonize and strengthen the outage notification rules to ensure that PSAPs and the public receive timely and useful notification of disruptions to 911 service. The proposed rules, among other things, would require originating service providers to notify via telephone and in writing through electronic means potentially affected 911 facilities of an outage no later than 30 minutes after discovering the outage, standardize the information conveyed to PSAPs, maintain accurate PSAP contact information, and establish consumer notification procedures for 911 unavailability. The comment and reply cycle ended in August of last year, and this proceeding remains pending. Now to talk a little bit about the 988 number that was recently rolled out nationwide. So in July of 2020, the FCC adopted rules that designated 988 as the new phone number for individuals in a mental health crisis to connect with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, or Lifeline. The Lifeline is a national network of more than 200 local and state-funded crisis centers. The Department of Health and Human Services Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration, or SAMHSA, manages the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline in partnership with the Department of Veteran Affairs, or VA, which manages the Veterans Crisis Line. Vibrant Emotional Health is designated as the administrator of the Lifeline. As of July 16th, 2022, calls to 988 are now routed to 1-800-273-8255-TALK. The 1-800 number will remain operational during and after the transition. Covered text providers must support texting to 988 by directing text messages sent to 988 to the Lifeline. 988 calls are routed to the Lifeline based on the caller's area code. Calls from veterans are sent to the Veterans Crisis Line. Currently, carriers do not send location information to crisis centers with 988 calls. On May 24th, in coordination with SAMHSA and the VA, the FCC convened a forum on the challenges and opportunities related to geolocation for 988. This forum was presented including state and local stakeholders, suicide prevention, mental health experts and advocates, communications industry leaders, and technical experts as well. Topics included the experience of those on the front lines of suicide prevention and mental health crisis services. The forum also featured discussions on the technical challenges of transmitting location information with a call to 988 and possible solutions to this problem. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about how you can get in contact with the FCC. Thank you so much for the work that all of you do to help keep people safe. For most purposes, there is a public safety support center where you can submit a ticket regarding any PSAP questions, problems, and notifications. It's available on the link on the slide. Also, it's easily findable on the FCC's website. There's also an FCC Operations Center that is available 24/7, 365 days a year for time-sensitive emergencies. Thank you all for your time, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak with you here today. I am happy to take any questions very briefly, but I understand you have a jam-packed meeting, so happy to move on if necessary.
Thank you, Rachel. Does anyone have any questions? All right, hearing none. Thank you for joining us, Rachel, and thank you for being so patient while we got through our meeting to your item.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All righty, that concludes the end of our agenda for new business, and we're about at the end of our meeting. Does anyone here in the audience today have anything that they would like to bring for new business or the good of the organization? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. Thank you. Second? Second. All right. All in favor? All right, that concludes the North Carolina NENA meeting for today. Before you get up, we have a couple of quick announcements and a logistical thing to go through. But first, Vic Williams with our 50/50 raffle.
Okay, for those of you that bought a ticket, I'm going to ask Brian Drum if he'll draw the number if you get your blue ticket out. All right. Last four digits, 4715. 4715. Got a winner? Right? Missy, you'll get $61 if you want to come up and pick that up. Well, I'll keep it if you want me to.
All right, and last thing is Kyle, if you'll come up and give us some words about lunch.
All right, so I know everybody's hungry for lunch, but there's a maze that you have to go through to get it. You're going to go down to the second floor, to the lobby. I've got two people. You can either take the elevators when you go out the doors to the left, or you can take the stairs to the right, go down to the second floor lobby. You're going to go out the front doors, and the theater is actually the building right across the street. However, the front doors to the theater are to the right. So just go to the right, cross the street. I have people stationed there and at the entrance to the theater, so you can know where you're going. Once you walk into the theater, you walk straight back, and they have the tables and everything prepared. So if you get lost, scream real loud. We've got cops stationed all around, so they'll find you. If you have any questions, let one of my people know. And thank you so much for coming and joining us here in High Point today.
Yep, and thank you, Kyle, for hosting us. It's been
Absolutely.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jason, one more thing is if there's anybody here from Alamance County or North Carolina EM, if you would walk up front and see me before you leave.